Hello, Daz enthusiasts. This is not from this world, and I want to welcome you back to my tutorial series. Now, for today's video, we're going to continue talking about Hexagon, and I want to show you a neat little trick that doesn't take a whole lot of time, but can really enhance what we've done before, which is to alter the poses of clothing. So I just opened up the Milica picture that I've had in the previous video. And if you remember, in that video, we just took her shorts and posed them so it looks like she's either putting them on or taking them off. And you may notice that we have some creases here that we may not like. So I'm going to show you how you can remove some of these creases in her shorts back in Hexagon. Now, I didn't do this in the previous video just simply because I try and keep my videos rather short, and that video was getting pretty long. So I thought I would show you this week how we can do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select all of my Milica character, and we're going to go back into Hexagon. So File, Send to Hexagon, and we're going to open up Hexagon, and there's a neat little trick that you can to make those clothing poses even better. So back in Hexagon, what we're going to do is zoom in to her shorts, and now what we're going to do is we're going to smooth out the texture of her shorts. Before we do that, though, I wanted to show you one kind of cool thing. If you don't want to use your keyboard to navigate around, if you recall, we use Alt and then the left mouse button to rotate, and then we can use Alt and the right button to kind of pan around. If you look down here at the bottom, you can select these little icons and they will do the same thing. So this icon right here will pan around when I hit the left key, and then this little icon will also pan and move your figure. So I just thought I'd kind of show you that because it's kind of cool. I keep it here on this first one for most of what I do, and I just use the Alt key to rotate around just because I find it a little bit easier. But now that we are in Hexagon, you can see that when I posed her shorts initially in the last video, we have some funny looking folding going on within her shorts. And so if I zoom in, you can see it even better. Like right here, I don't like that. So I want to fix it. Now, how I can fix it is kind of interesting. We're going to come up here to the top to UV and Paint. We're going to select that, and we have a bunch of options, but today what I'd like to show you is this smoothing option, or soften tool it says. If I click on that softening tool, and then I select in my parameters tab the nightwear pants, I'm going to get the geometry for those pants. I can come up here and select soft selection again, like I always do. So what I'm going to do with the pants selected is I'm going to come up here and make sure that my soften tool is selected. And then I have to be careful because I don't want to go anywhere where those shorts are located. So if you notice, I'm bringing my cursor down, and I want to soften the middle, kind of the crotch of the shorts there. So what I'm going to do with that softening tool selected is I'm going to hit my left mouse button, and I'm just going to go over this area that I want to soften. So clicking, you can see it just kind of gives us this blue, and I'm just going to rub this kind of over the crease that I don't like. And I want to take care of this weirdo fold right here as well. So I'm just going to go over it. The more I go over it, the more it should soften these folds. I'm holding my left mouse button down to do this. You know, it's interesting because I was watching some other tutorials on Hexagon, and I just find it frustrating that they don't mention simple things like hold the left mouse key down as you do this. So you can tell I'm just going over some of these folds, and once I'm satisfied, I'm going to let go of the left mouse button, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit accept. And when I hit accept, you can see it just smoothed that area. And so if I rotate, like look right here, there's a big difference. It's pretty cool. So there's a pretty big difference in the folding of the shorts now because of the softening tool. Now, if I want to keep going, like if I want to soften this fold right here a little bit more, I just do the same thing. Once we hit accept, it just kind of resets everything. So if I want to do another softening session, I guess, I've got to go up here and hit the soften tool. And then I'm going to kind of go around and then click on my left mouse button and just start kind of massaging this area once again. And I'm even going to soften this. We can soften this right here. And this is just going to make our folds a little bit easier to deal with. I think this is really cool, and it can really enhance that pose that you just made. Help that clothing look a little more realistic. So I unclick my left mouse button. I'm going to come up here to accept it again, and we have even more softening of this pair of shorts. Now, if you notice, I've got like this hump here. This was created when I was doing the geometry in the last video. So I'm going to try and soften that. Let's go back to that soften tool. Just click on it. I'm going to just kind of see if I can soften that kind of lump that we created on our shorts. There's kind of a lump right here. Let's see what this does just for fun. So remember, the more you hold down your left mouse button and move over the geometry, the more it's supposed to soften this and kind of straighten out that geometry. I've noticed that it works to a certain point, and then, you know, there's just only so much you can do before you just kind of stop creating a change. So I'm going to hit accept again, and you can see we might be getting rid of that lump a little bit. Let's try and play with it again. We'll just hit this. And there's some other tools that we can use that I'm going to save for another video. I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit short. Normally, I don't go into 20-minute videos, but that last Hexagon tutorial that I did on Friday really was much longer than I was anticipating. That's why I thought I would show you this here on my Tuesday video, and it's going to be a much shorter video because we're only looking at that softening tool. All right, let's see what happens. You kind of get the point. I could keep working with this even more if I wanted to, but you know, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I think it looks much better than it did with the original. So we're going to stick with that. Now, of course, if I want to save this, I'm just going to put it back into Daz Studio. So I'm just going to go File, Send back to Daz. And now we're in the same kind of position that we were at in the other videos. I'm just going to go back to Daz. We'll have this tab open. I'm going to select the Hexagon morph. We can double click on the name and name it. I'm going to name it Short Smoothing. All right, so I've got it. Shorts Smoothing is the name of this morph. Remember our reverse deformation. We have to right click on it, hit yes, and then we'll just hit accept. We created that morph successfully, and now I've got a morph for this pair of shorts. So what I'm going to do is let's just zoom in. I went to a different camera. I'm just going to zoom into these shorts and let's look at this morph. See if it changed it enough that we like that folding. I mean, this folding in here, honestly, it looks pretty bad. So hopefully this morph kind of fix some of that. So I go to the pants here. Let's go to morphs. And then you can see here I have the shorts smoothing morph. It's at 0. I'm going to crank it up to 100. Look at that. That is a huge difference. Let me put it back to 0 so you can really see. So this is what we start with. And then after I do the smoothing morph, it just really looks so much better. Now I could go back in, we could smooth some areas right in here, I think, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go back to that camera number 2. I kind of like this position here. We're going to run a render this picture up, and if it looks good enough, we're going to make our thumbnail, and then we're going to call it a day. So I hope that this helps you a lot. Going back into Hexagon, we have some other tabs that we can choose, and I'm going to show you some of these in a future video. Let's keep this simple. Use that soften tool. I've actually noticed that the soften tool is what works the best for me anyway. We have these other things like the displacement brush and the pinch tool. I gotta play with those more because I haven't had a lot of success, at least with clothing, with these. The soften tool works great, so I highly recommend it. All right, let me get this ready for a render. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and shoot me a comment or two. Remember, most of the people that watch me are still not subscribed. More and more subscribers every day, but if you're one of those that have put it off, please hit that subscribe button. Helps me out. Watch my videos, give me comments, and until next time, happy rendering.